When boss said 5 minutes, I tried.
You're so mean, Nick. You're such a slave driver.
It wasn't me. It wasn't my idea. I was just following orders. Um, so this should be fun. Did you already find the Langshi, Ben?
No, I took a break. Thank you.
Good for you. The easy way out. Joke.
Hey, we could do Tim's quiz. Just kidding.
What really is wisdom?
It's when you're smart.
That was when I was in the monastery. The monks took us to meet Geshe Thupten Rinchen and talk with him. And they were like really encouraging me to ask him questions. And I didn't have anything to ask. So they were just like, no, you have a chance to ask him questions. You know, I was like, what is emptiness? I don't know what to say. I didn't have a question.
Hey, Jack, could you turn on the lights, please? Because the color's wrong. Thank you.
Your hair looks like it's the right color.
Yeah, you look like the old leader of the.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. We're going to get started. That wasn't for all of you. Okay, Geshe went to the. What's the word for
Other room.
Hello, Geshe's room.
it's a word that we learned, pelican or something like that? Pelican? I don't know. Anyway,
PowerPoint?
something like that. All right. Anyway, here's some homework for all y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, quiz 4. Okay, this is a question for the non-mixed nuts people. I would prefer the answer come from non-mixed nuts people. Okay, meaning translators. So
Only the translators are non-mixed nuts.
something like that. Thank you. All right, so and the next debate that we're working with, actually we started in the last class, claims that the quality of the Buddhist speech is that it possesses the 4 confidences without defining what the 4 confidences are. Non-mixed nuts people, if something like this happens while we're reading a text, what is our protocol?
You look it up.
Look it up. You weren't supposed to answer.
What?
Who answered? Who said that?
Lindsay.
Oh, Lindsay. Oh, yes, you were supposed to answer. Good job.
Thank you.
And Maria says to find it and put it in the footnotes.
Nice. Perfect. Lindsay, when are you getting here?
As soon as I sell my house.
All right. Let's work on the rejoicing karmas for that one.
Yeah.
All right. Right. Exactly. We just don't leave it up to the reader to figure it out. We go into the database and find an authentic reference. Hopefully it exists. And then we create a footnote to help the reader understand. Thank you. All right. Now this is for everyone. Everyone can join in now. So when we went into, well, when Geshe Michael went into the database, define the 4 confidences. What is the name of the sutra that lists them that we're using, both in Tibetan and English? And it's not the text that the sutra is being commented on. It's the sutra itself. Just in case you wanted to comment on the text.
the sutra requested by somebody. So,
Yeah. Good. Okay, we've got the sutra. That's perfect. Which one?
okay, I did my part.
Mhm.
Hmm. Wow. All right. That's a bunch of crickets.
It's so loud.
Oh, I
Somebody
didn't
had to
know
take
that.
notes.
I thought it was the jewel of. I thought it was in the jewel lamp, which illuminates every meaning of the perfection of wisdom.
It is in there, but it's quoting a direct sutra that lists the four confidences.
Oh, the sutra
perfection
urging
was
us
a
to
sutra.
personal responsibility.
Is the sutra which what?
Urges us to personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Buddha urged the students to.
I
Correct.
saw that appear on the screen for a second.
It does, but I should have put the English one first. What's the Tibetan for it? Venerable Utpala.
One
Rob's-
moment while I access that information.
Going into meditation, everybody.
Hlaksang Kolwe Dole. Oh, no, not forget the lay.
There we go. Good. That was mostly accurate. All right. The search.
You're not showing on our screen. Do you want to do anything about that?
Well, that's just.
Or should I go?
Oh, you should go to Zoom.
I'm sorry. Okay, there we go.
Ah,
Sorry.
yes. The sutra urging us to take personal responsibility.
Yay.
All right. Third question. What are the four confidences according to this sutra? The speech has meaning and does not have meaning.
Yay.
Okay, good. What's the second one?
It functions to put an end to your negativities and not reinforce them.
That's number 3, Venerable Paula. Number 2 is you got half of it, Venerable
You can
Gelsay.
be confident it concerns the Dharma and doesn't not concern the Dharma.
Yes. Right. It concerns the Dharma and does not concern the Dharma.
Wow.
And then Venerable Paula, what was number 3?
It functions to put an end to your negativities and not reinforce them.
Correct. And
Nice.
what's the fourth one?
It describes both the benefits and good qualities of nirvana, yet does not exacerbate the problems already present in the circle of suffering life.
I feel like
Whoa.
did you memorize that? That was really good because you literally,
Wow.
good job.
I
Nice.
type pretty fast.
All right, cool.
Cool. Super cool.
So as a bonus question, who has the confidence in these 4 speeches?
The one who's listening.
You do.
We haven't determined that. So it could be us as listeners to the speech of the Buddha, or the speech itself has that 4 qualities. We haven't quite determined it yet. It sounds like it's me like it's about us confidence in it.
I would say, I would agree. So far.
Okay. All right. Here's some STWs.
Negative emotion.
Uh,
Okay. Nungmong is negative emotion. And I just wanted to separate it from Nungmong Pa.
By the way, I discourage mental affliction. It is not used by anyone else in the universe. And I would leaked into Dharma circles. It's a dumb word, and no English speaking person would use it. Okay. Mental affliction.
Oh, that's so used to me.
I know you're very used to it, but nobody else in the universe is. Okay, so don't use it. It's like sentient being.
that's only used in the case of some science schools in Buddhism.
No,
Things involved with negative emotions.
Right.
Even some negativities at times.
Things involved, everything related to the
I like
negativities.
that's easy. Good.
Okay. And then last one, cool.
By the way, what does it include that negativities doesn't include?
Non-sentient beings.
Get out of here. Get out. God.
My computer's sentient sometimes.
So ever since Sushumna opened up, you've been, I don't know. getting really funny. It's kind of scary. Okay,
Wait, was that,
Cool.
was that the answer you wanted?
yeah.
Okay.
that was a good answer.
All right, cool.
Well,
cool.
no, the answer I
Urge.
was specifically stuff that was created by negative emotions. You know, like cancer or something. That when you say nyomong pa, it includes cancer. When you say nyomong, it has to be a mental event.
Even good things. Like,
Well, ask the Abhidharma guy
yeah,
about Sakje.
you're right. That's the thing.
Last word,
To impel, to urge, to push.
impel. I like impel. To incite to do an urge, yes.
Word, isn't it normally with a B, bone?
The past tense and
On the
future.
past tense. Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right, cool. All right, let's open up my text.
Now we get the translation.
All right, here we go. I failed miserably, by the way, FYI.
Yay, it makes me feel better.
Yay.
Somebody wants
Believe it.
Okay, is that big enough for you guys? Yeah, okay. How's that? I'm a little bit bigger. Okay, oops, you don't want that. All right, here we go.
Yeah. If someone comes along and claims the definition of the speech of the Buddha is words. Yeah, I would just say in the mind.
Okay, words, well,
That's the problem with his assertion, actually. You gotta
Okay.
say in.
so you can't hear the words in the mind of a Buddha.
Maybe it means mental image.
Hey, I didn't write it.
Okay, all right, I did, okay.
Some people can.
Yeah, so don't forget,
I mean, I
Kachik
can't.
is always
Wrong.
wrong. There should be something wrong in here. Right? And Tim's gonna reveal it in the next line.
All
By
right,
the way, it's a good, you did it well. Did you read this? I don't remember.
No,
not out loud.
Oh, well. Tim says everybody can just read it in their mind in the future.
All right.
Read it out loud.
Kachik Boba Shitang Denpe Sange Pakpe Yukisung Sange Kike
Kai-
Ki
Kai.
Kai Seni Serna.
Nice, Sarah.
Serna.
All right, we covered it.
All right, here we go. Should I read this one in my mind too?
And outline.
All right, Sange Pakpe Yuki Tension Nunto Gen Churchen Sunja der that one I don't know which one it is. We're saying we're being sarcastic here.
Yeah, so you go down.
Yeah,
Send that.
their tao. Seni nature
Yeah.
tacha chen ki.
That's a weird statement, but let's go for the first part.
Yeah.
Sange Pape Gyuki Tension Nundogen Church. Let's consider their dual realizations of classical commentary in the mind of an Arya who's the mind. Yeah. Okay, good. Go back to his definition of the word of the Buddha.
The word of the Buddha is
The words in the mind of
mind
an
of an
enlightened being.
Mhm. And has the four
Has
confidences.
the four confidences. Okay.
Okay.
And then we say, let's take Abhisamankara, which is a classical
Commentary,
commentary. It's like the ultimate classical commentary.
which is not the
Okay.
word of the Buddha.
Yeah, it's not the word of the Buddha, okay? But do Buddhas have it in their mind?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, they have all things in a way. So is it therefore the word of the Buddha? Because it's in the mind of an enlightened being.
Oh, that's a problem.
That's the
Problem,
problem. Yeah. Just because it's in the,
Mind of the Buddha doesn't mean it's the speech of the Buddha.
good night. Okay, yeah, good, okay.
So do I need to
Then
change
we
that?
follow up. No, it's good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you saying that the generalization speech is Buddha? Why do you say
say
that? Because it fits your definition. Oh, you can repeat the definition if you want. Yeah, okay. No, not according to you, because it is something that is in the mind of Buddha. See? And you should have put in the Bokashi thing.
No, we haven't even
Yeah,
talked about it
something
yet.
like that. Yeah, you have to repeat his whole thing. Yeah. Tini Data.
Yeah.
The reason is proven.
I have no idea what the Takjugi troop means. Because there's the reason, there's the
Yeah. What's the talk here?
reason is,
Because it is something.
because it's
that in
something,
my
right,
mind
yeah.
is mine.
and Drupa is like established, I
Yeah,
guess.
I
But
would say my reason that I just gave you is valid because it repeats your example. See what I mean?
okay. And what's the point of saying that? Just to rub it in?
Yeah, it's just a rub it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Nice. So what did he do wrong? He was trying to define the word of the Buddha. And then he said, it's the,
It's in the mind.
what's it? And did he qualify it?
We said the speech of the Buddha is the speech
Oh,
of the
words.
is the
Yeah.
words in the mind of an Arya who is enlightened.
Oh, okay. So if something is the words inside of a Buddha mind, is it the word of the Buddha? We say no, because the Buddha is also aware of all the commentaries.
And everything, what everybody says.
Yeah. Then Rebecca's everything she said yesterday would also be the word of the Buddha. Okay.
You gotta unmute one of the two of your computers.
We don't hear anyone now.
Don't.
There we
mute-
go.
yeah,
That's
there.
good.
You killed that one. It's almost as if you were number one on TripAdvisor for the whole goddamn country. All right.
I can't be good at everything, Geshe-la.
All right.
For now, for now.
Thank you for laughing. at
Somebody
that.
told me, Geshe-la, it's only the smaller hotels. It wasn't for all the hotels in America. I'm like, yeah, there's only 100,000 smaller hotels. Give me a break. Okay. Okay, keep going.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Next one. This is where
It's still incredible, and I congratulate you. again. Okay. Okay, who's gonna read since you're so boring? I mean, your reading is boring because it's correct.
Oh man. How about Svetlana?
That's called a backhanded compliment. New idiom.
Backhanded compliment.
Backhanded compliment, like you insult him, but in a complimentary way.
Hey, go ahead, Svetlana.
Kachik chopashi tanken pe sangya chakpe gyu ki sungra pak pe gyu ki sungra tartuk sangye ki ketsen ni tsena.
Nice. Good job.
Good. Now, Tim, it's often the case that a guy will refine his definition after we criticize it.
Mhm.
Do you think that's the case here?
There is a refinement, but I don't understand. He just says that the words are
Ultimate speech.
The ultimate speech.
Yeah, so if you say any speech in the mind of a Buddha is the word of the Buddha, then what about classical commentaries in the mind of a Buddha? That's not the word of Buddha. Then the guy says, okay, I changed my definition.
Mhm.
Any ultimate speech in the mind of a Buddha is the definition of Buddha's speech. He changed it to ultimate. Okay. Is that enough? Now, as we, I mean, your job, which you'll figure it out sooner or later, and I'll tell you now, and it'll make your life interesting. anytime a kachik gives his proposal,
Mhm.
your first job is to close your eyes and think of a counterexample. That's all.
Mhm.
That's all. You should never read these debate texts any other way. Like, don't go on to the next and see what we say. Like, close your eyes and try to think of an example of something which is not the word of a Buddha, but which is ultimate speech in the mind of a Buddha.
What's the meaning of ultimate in this sense?
It means Buddha enlightened. Yeah.
Oh.
Can you say that again?
When Kachik speaks, don't go on. Close your eyes and try to think of a counterexample. You're looking for something which is ultimate speech, which does mean enlightened speech, in the mind stream of a Buddha.
The thoughts of the Buddha.
But it has to be something which is not the word of the Buddha.
Yeah, but the thoughts are not word.
Well, that's it. I mean, think of counterexamples and then go on. But never just like a dog, run to the next line. Close your eyes and try to think of a counterexample yourself. There's something defective about his definition. Something fits his definition, which is not the word of the Buddha. And it's your job to imagine that before you go on. And you'll get a lot more out of these texts if you do that. Okay, so just pause, relax, I was going to say a smoke, but you could just have a beer. I'm kidding. And think of a counterexample. You got any in the room? I'll say it again. The highest form of spoken word, which does mean Buddhist word, in the mind of a Buddha, is the word of the Buddha.
Oh, those words he spoke before getting light.
Well, everybody should have their own version of a counterexample. And let's go on. Then you play a game with yourself and you say, oh, let's see what he says.
Okay, let's have a look. How about, I can't see your name. How about Rebus?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Onam Pakpa Sharibu Bui Gyutki Ka Kiet Tongpa Chuchen Senyi Dertal Suncha Che Dechu.
Nice.
Now I'm understanding. Okay.
Well, then let's consider the holy speech in the mind.
In the mind, right? Yeah.
Ayashari Putra. Let's consider the speech of the Buddha represented by the perfection of wisdom in 8,000 verses as it exists in the mind of Shariputra.
Yeah.
In the mind.
I think, well, yeah, in the mind of the Arya Shariputra. Yeah, are you saying that?
This is where I fell apart.
By the way, you don't have to say it fits the definition. You just say, are you saying that that's the holy speech of the Buddha? And then fitting the definition would be your reason, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Are you saying that this is the holy speech of the Buddha? And then automatically he says chichir, which we never write, but we always write.
Okay.
Why do you say that? Keep going.
Because that's what you're trying to define.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because of what you're trying to define. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
So
why is it not comfortable for us? What did he say? Let's go back.
Yes, this is where I wasn't comfortable with it. Because we're talking about the mind of an Arya who is enlightened.
Yeah, and he's not enlightened.
And then we're,
It's not the case that he's being controlled by Lord Pegadaheart. Yeah.
Can the 8,000 verses be in the mind of Shariputra?
Yes. If he was saying it.
Yeah, it can be. Does that make him an enlightened being?
no,
Because you said if it's holy
right, okay.
wisdom in the mind of an enlightened being, that's a definition of the word of the Buddha. But Shariputra, who's not a Buddha, can also have it in his mind. Does that make him a Buddha? Because it is the word of the Buddha. When the Shariputra memorizes the word of the Buddha, does that make him a Buddha? Why do you say that? Because you said the word of the Buddha always had to be in the mind of an enlightened being. Cool. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That anyone could say the words of the Buddha.
Yeah, or if you memorize the sutra, the Om Sutra, okay, then you must be an enlightened being, according to this guy's definition.
Yeah. I mean, it's still true. I mean, it's still in the mind of a Buddha, even if it's in the mind of Shariputra. As soon as he says ultimate speech, it seems like it doesn't matter whose mind it's in.
No, we said consider ultimate speech as it exists in the mind of Shariputra. Is it in the mind of an enlightened being? Why
It
do you
is.
say that?
Because he's omniscient.
It's also in the mind of an enlightened being, but when we're talking about the particular one inside of Shariputra's mind, that's not in the mind of an enlightened being.
Of
That
course it
particular
is.
version of it. It's
It most certainly is.
still in Lord Buddha's mind, but we're talking about it isolated in the mind of Shariputra.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now I'll let it go.
We translated this wrong.
Yep, we did, yep.
Are you saying this is always speech of Buddha is wrong? Okay. Are you saying your definition fits it?
Is that what we
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. And Senyi Deta,
Oh, are you saying,
are you saying your definition fits it?
okay. Or fits this?
Because it is the word of the Buddha. Okay.
So,
And he says, yeah, my definition fits it. And then we say, okay, well, so Shariputra is enlightened.
okay,
He defined the word of the Buddha as the word in the mind of an enlightened being. Then we said, let's consider a sutra spoken by Lord Buddha, which Shariputra memorized. So I guess it's not the word of the Buddha. Why? Because it's not in the mind of an enlightened being. Yes, it is. Okay, so Shariputra is enlightened. Thanks. And he's not an Arya, which I just mentioned Arya. Okay.
Mhm.
Just an Arya. Okay.
okay,
All right.
all right. Do you want to take the plane or do you want me to
Yeah, I'll
start
take the plane. Let's see if we can crash this plane.
Wasn't Shariputra an Arhat?
Yeah, he is, and we're going to get to that, Nick. But that doesn't preclude him from being a. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, I didn't mean that. I just meant, doesn't that make him enlightened?
No.
In the
lower
In
track.
this school.
Nick, he reached the enlightenment, and he's not enlightened. How's that?
What on earth?
It sounds like it's straight out of the Majjhimika
He
Prasangika.
reached the enlightenment of the second track, but he didn't get enlightened. Okay.
We're no, not that. We're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that over? Nope. We're up a little bit further still. We're here.
Okay. Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is Ka. Der Tao Ka Yimbatao. Chichendi in nature. It is the word of the Buddha because it's the 8,000 verses.
Because
Okay.
it's
And Tim's gonna pick on somebody.
This is a really hard line. How about Joy Chen?
Thank you. The first line.
Yep.
Delta their Patrick. Delta Java Yula Yobe Sange Kichun Kichin Le Yobeche.
Nice.
Yeah, this is really
Yeah.
cool. Okay, that's how. Yes, it is too. The word of the Buddha, because such a thing does exist, where somebody like Shariputra would memorize the 8,000 verses. Okay.
So our Kachik says, I don't agree that it's.
No, we're still going. Tell the
So we're
Oh yeah, he said I disagree that it's the word of the Buddha or something like that.
Okay.
He disagreed that the 8,000 verses was the word of the Buddha, or he disagreed that the 8,000 verses could exist in Shariputra's. And we said, well, it is, because such a thing does exist. He did memorize the 8,000 verses. So did
Master Dharmakirti?
And Ken Rinpoche.
no, well, not that I know of, but the Sakya Pandita memorized the 8,000 verses in Sanskrit. Okay, in the 1200s. Okay, probably the last great Tibetan Sanskritist in the 1200. Yeah. Okay, who's going to read?
She read that one as well.
This is interesting. Chawa Yula Yepa means an example of enlightened activity which now exists in the object of that activity. An example of enlightened activity which now exists within the object of that activity. Yeah, Shariputra is the object of who listened to the 8,000 verses from Lord Buddha. And now that activity of speaking the 8,000 verses, in a sense, dwells within Shariputra. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the activity exists within the object of the activity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's a kind of chinle of Lord Buddha. That's a feature of Lord Buddha's speech. Lord Buddha has the ability to speak, and then the speech of the Buddha after that exists within the hearts of the student, whether they understand it or not, and like that. Okay. But it never leaves their heart. Okay. Okay. It's kind of cool. Okay. There is such a deeds of the Buddha where they speak, and what they say after that forever exists within the person to whom they spoke. Okay. Then he says, talking about Drew, understood, right? He says, I disagree that there is the activity of the Buddha's speech where the activity, in a sense, remains in the person that he was speaking to. And we say, yes, there does exist the speech of the Buddha, which is an activity of the Buddha, which then exists within the hearts of the object of that activity, because in general, not mentioning Sung in this line, because in general, any deed of the Buddha can exist in the heart of the person who was the object of that deed. He doesn't say speech. So it implies speech, activity, or mental process. All three can exist in the mind of the student after they have been acted upon by the Buddha.
Cool.
Okay, there is such a thing. And then he's being stubborn. And he says, okay, look, you say this is a quality of the Buddha's activity of speech. I don't buy it. Yes, it does, because it's one of his activities. I don't buy that. Well, it's one of his activities that exists in the object of the person he was speaking to. I don't buy that. Yes, it does, because it's a chinle of the Buddha. That's the nature of all the Buddha's activity. It exists in the objects of living beings for whom he acts. Okay. Everything he does exists in the hearts of the beings to whom he's acting. Okay.
I don't know what does that mean, existing in the heart.
Any person towards whom the Buddha has acted retains something of the Buddha within them.
Like a seed of us.
You can say that, but he doesn't specify it. Okay. Diminete. You can't agree that, yes, the 8,000 verses in the heart of Shariputra fits my definition. You cannot agree to that. Why?
He's not a Buddha.
He's not a Buddha. If it were true, he has to be a Buddha. Okay?
It fits the Kachik's definition.
Yeah. No, your example. Your
Right.
Chichen.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the example is the example you mentioned, then it can't be true. You can't say I agree that yes, Shariputra is an enlightened being.
Right.
Okay.
That's so hard.
Oh, well, imagine you're 12 years old or something. That it's hard.
I am imagining. I
Or
feel
you're
like,
31 and you
I-
came from America.
I feel like I'm 12 years old. All right.
All right, who's reading next, Timothy?
Let's see here. Elmira.
If you read it perfectly, you get to stay at his hotel for 10 minutes.
Okay.
There's some really good.
I would jump in the pool. Okay. You got the question?
Go for it.
Okay, here, Kachik du Chanyon Mong Kong Chi de Sung Bai Sangya Ki Sung Sangya Ki Kai Tsani Serna.
Nice. Good reading. Good reading. Nice reading. He says the definition of the ka of the Sangye, Tim.
Is the speech of the Buddha
Is defined, the speech of the Buddha,
is
the
defined
word of
as-
the Buddha is defined as any speech of the Buddha
which
is spoken, go backwards,
which is spoken for the benefit
in order
to remove the negative emotions in students.
Yeah, good. Say it out loud.
All right. So the definition of this
Word
word of the Buddha is the word of the Buddha,
No, now you have to say something else. You can't
It's-
say ka.
the speech of the
Yeah, the
Buddha,
speech of the Buddha.
whose words
Yeah,
are
spoken.
spoken in order to remove the negative emotions of students.
Now, everybody close your eyes and think of a counterexample. I give you a definition of Buddhist speech. Any speech of an enlightened being, which is spoken in order to remove the negative emotions of the student, of his disciple, is the definition of the Buddhist, the word of the Buddha. That's the definition. Think of a counterexample before we go on. Is it always the case that Lord Buddha's speech is meant to remove the negative emotions of the person to whom he's speaking, his disciple? Nice. Rebecca said, what about a student who's an arhat, right? That, I think, might be perfect, but we won't know until the next person reads.
All right, let's see here. How about Venerable Chunzum?
Not the cursor.
Kyu Chu Chen, Kyu Ki Che Du Cha Wei, Dul Ja Yin Na, Nyun Mong Pong Yu Ki Gang Zak Yin Gu Pata, Kyu Sange Ki Kin Pa Yin Pe, Shir She Pe Tal, Ngula Kya Po Yu Patal, Kyu Ki Tsen Ni De Te Pe Chur.
Yeah, so we're gonna give a necessary implication of his definition. That's all we're saying.
Okay.
So let's take, for example, let's take the word of the Buddha. If someone is a student, Chedujawa is an extremely useful word. Chedujawa. And there's a very famous, extremely famous book of poetry called Chedujubitson. I like to translate it as targeted advices. And targeted means Chedujawa. And targeted means what?
Directed towards.
Yeah, Buddha created that particular sutra or that particular book targeted towards a certain student and maybe not at the other students. Somebody was having a special problem and he targeted that towards us. So Cheduja means that. And there's huge debates about who's the Chedujawi Duja, of who's the intended disciple of this very Shastra, of this very classical commentary. Who's the perfect disciple for this book? Chedujawi Duja. Very, very famous expression in debate. Okay. Chedujawi Duja. So he says, here's our assertion, counter assertion. Ready? All right, I understand. So if you are the student towards whom the word of the Buddha is directed, or for whom it was especially created, Yomong Bonguki Kazak Yin Gubata. You must be a person who goes Bong your Nyomong.
Yeah, who needs to get rid of your negative
Good.
emotions?
Ben got it. Okay, I got it. So anyone that the Buddha spoke to must have been a person who had to get rid of their negative emotions, because according to you, the definition of the word of the Buddha is the word of an enlightened being meant to help the disciple give up certain mental, negative emotions. Okay.
Close call.
And therefore, if anyone is the intended disciple of a Buddhist teaching, they must have negative emotions to get rid of. Now, can you think of a counterexample?
Yeah, an arhat.
Yeah, an arhat. Yeah. So we just have to pick a typical arhat. Yeah. And Kyabayabata, you must be agreeing to what I just said because of your own definition. Okay. It must be the case that if someone is getting a teaching from Lord Buddha, they have negative emotions because of your definition of the speech of the Buddha, that it was focused on helping a person get rid of their particular negative emotions. Okay. Then,
if you agree to that,
here comes your counterexample. Who's going to read it?
Who's going to read it? Oh, geez. How about lots of people here? How about she went to the bathroom literally right now. Okay, that's funny.
Who went to the bathroom? Oh, yeah.
Chloe did.
Smart.
Ella Lu.
Sorry.
Ella, if your microphone's having trouble, just ask your son to help you, all right?
My son went to school.
Oh, sorry.
Do now. Is it okay?
I mean, you're kind of in a echo chamber, but it's not bad.
Okay. Yeah. So I think maybe somebody my voice is not good.
Okay.
How about Aldo? Our
Yay, Aldo.
Yay. Dona Chowor Pakpa Shari ri Gui
Gui.
Gui Gyöki She Gri Pompir Du
Here, right?
Pir
Cheer.
Chir Du Sumpe Sangye Ki Ka Chochu
Nice.
Deltal Dechir.
Their towel. Go down. Their towel.
Deltal
By the way, I saw a nice advertisement for Aldo's teaching. So if you guys want to hear a good teaching, make sure to catch Aldo's next class. All right. If you agree, what did he agree to?
He agreed to that.
Yeah. So we said, therefore, if the Buddha is teaching someone specially, they must have some negative emotions to get rid of. Okay. And here's our counterexample. Okay. Let's say that a teaching was given primarily, okay, for the benefit of Pakpa Sharipu.
For Arya Shariputra.
And specifically to help him get rid of his shidduchs.
His obstacles to omniscience.
Omniscience, not his
Negative emotions.
negative emotion obstacles. Okay, got it? So we're saying here's a person who doesn't have,
Negative emotions.
but he's still worth giving a teaching to because he has,
He still has some of those obstacles to get to.
by definition, because he's not a blank yet.
He's not a Buddha yet.
Yeah, he's not a Buddha yet. So the only thing holding him back is his obstacles to knowledge. He doesn't have any more negative, I keep wanting to say mental fiction, negative emotions, okay? So, Pong Chiu Du means for the purpose of helping him get rid of. Okay, let's take the Sangekika.
That's the speech of the
The word of the Buddha, which was spoken specifically
for the
or
mainly
to help.
I'm stuck in the mainly to help remove the obstacles to.
It means that other people were listening, but Buddha's main intention was to help Shariputra at that moment. Yeah. Okay. And he was not trying to help him get rid of his negative emotions because he
doesn't have any.
Okay. So are you saying that's not the speech of the Buddha? Why? Because it wasn't spoken to help someone get rid of their negative emotion. Okay, that's how they should. Okay. That's how. Yeah. Yes, it is the speech of the Buddha because we just talked about him teaching somebody. That's how. Yeah, it is such a case because that particular situation occurred. There was such a situation. What? He was teaching somebody who didn't have negative emotions, but they did have something to give up. Okay. Well, why is that the case? Yes, it was possible for Lord Buddha to give a teaching to someone who didn't have to give up negative emotions, but still had obstacles to get rid of. Because, Tim, who's going to read this one?
Sorry, I'm slow here on this one. Anatole or Aisha, since you're both.
Yatha Pakpa Sharipu Shade Drip Pongo Ki Kangsak Yin Beiju.
Yes. Oh, you want me?
Because Papa Sharipu.
Because the Arya Shariputra
was a Kangsak.
Is a person
who
needed to remove their obstacles to omniscience.
Good. Okay. Imagine. Then if you said back to at the last tell, we got to go back and find it. He's talking about this one up here. And that's an art form. You have to learn to go back and find the right tell. Okay, happened to be the first one. Okay, which is Nyomon Ponguki Gansa Yin. Is Shariputra a person who has to get rid of any negative emotions?
No.
The whole argument so far is coming from him saying no. But now desperately, because he's going to lose his position, he says, you know what? You know, way back at the beginning when you said sarcastically, you know, is Shariputra somebody who has to give up his negative emotions? He is. Yeah, he is. He is. I agree. Dana, if you do agree, Papa Shariputra.
Let's talk about.
Right.
I'm sorry. Okay. Dana Shariputra. That how they. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a different towel. It must have been the last one. Anyway, he is such a person because there does exist a person who's the perfect person to receive a teaching which is specifically designed to address their obstacles to omniscience and not their
negative emotions.
Negative emotions. Okay. And then now he says, oh, you know what? He is a person who had negative emotions. He goes back, way back to the beginning. He says, oh no, I changed. Shariputra is a person who had negative emotions. Yeah. And then we say, you can't agree to that. He's Bang Sin.
He doesn't have them. He's already removed them.
Already got rid of past tense. Sin. He long ago, he got rid of them. Okay. No, I disagree. That's how we go up because we believe it.
Yep.
That's how. Yes, he is a person who got rid of his
because he's a arhat on the listener track.
Yeah, he's an arhat. Come on, yes. He's an arhat. Cool. But you just learned another thing, and this happens in a good debate. He'll try to teach you 3 or 4 different things. You just learned that an arhat on a lower track still has
obstacles to
omniscience, which they can't get rid of until they reach enlightenment on the highest track. Okay. All right, cool. Yay. Did they reach enlightenment?
And enlightenment.
Yeah.
Is this where the book gets into that? Like the different enlightenments according to the different tracks?
If you're really interested, that's a separate literature. That's a circle. That's a Jaru. That's that's a wide topic, meaning they wrote separate books about it. And it's called Lam Topsel, How to Achieve a Path. And it's the first book we ever translated. And it probably exists somewhere in a bookshelf somewhere. Stopped here, 531.
Yes, end of the term as well.
Oh,
how does this happen?
I hate this kind of thing. It's like, it's like graduating from high school and then you got to go to the real world. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
job.
you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations again on doing 20 things well at once. All right. Nick, this is where we get our 45, 50?
Yeah.
All the time you need.
All right.
We're
going to eat. Yep. See you guys soon. By the way, reading this book is like going back to my high school because it is the first book I struggled through at the monastery, and I suffered immensely through it. So just so you know.
Thank you.
Soon.
Thank you for suffering for us.
Thanks, Keshav. See you soon. 10 minutes, guys.